Huwag yung kayong magkadisgrasyahan tayo niyan. Sinasabi ko yung madidisgrasya kayo. At madidisgrasya kayo. Hindi ako urong dito. And I said, I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
By Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs Undersecretary Marvel Clavicilla. Hence, we started our Bicol mission. The Bicol mission is composed of 5 trips to Bicol. The commission interviewed government workers and officials in the DPWH, Department of Health, Department of Energy, 2 attached agencies of the Department of Agriculture, the Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, the National Electrification Administration under the GCG, Coast Guard, the Philippine Ports Authority, and Marina under the Department of Transportation, NEDA and the Presidential Advisor for Bicol Affairs Office under the Office of the President, the Regional Peace and Order Council of the Department of Interior and Local Government, and lastly, the Department of Education. Resource persons interviewed include undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, regional directors, district engineers, LGU executives, Coast Guard officials, NGOs, business community, doctors, police officials, local communities, and teachers. Issues raised include Bicol Medical Center, the fish port, ice plant and cold storage, infirmary, and the Causeway Project, all in Calabanga, Camarines Sur. The Barangay Health Station in the Bicol area, the Mayon Circumferential Road Project, the Bicol International Airport, electrical post road obstruction, asphalt overlay in Pacol, Naga, and lastly, the San Jose and Baraka bridges. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we're just going to look at the major ones. Also, we did a fact-finding inquiry last July 25 in Malacañang, where we subpoenaed resource persons to shed light on these Bicol issues and concerns. First is the Bicol Medical Center, located in Naga City, Camarines Sur. It is a 1.2 billion peso project of the Department of Health that is up till now not operational due to several reasons. It is a 3-building construction project comprised of an 8-story general ward, a 5-story emergency and diagnostic center, and a cancer patient building. Construction is still ongoing, and it has encountered several delays already that resulted in the cardiac center being transferred to Bicol Regional Training and Teaching Hospital, or BRTTH, in Legazpi City. If you will notice this photo, we can see patients lining up outside the facility due to lack of space. We have a 1.2 billion peso facility completely empty, and we see this right here, people lining up on the streets. Its current status, it is not operational because of compliance problems, such as non-issuance of an occupancy permit by the Bureau of Fire Protection due to deficiencies. DOH, though, has given assurance to hasten the completion of the project and to address these compliance problems. Up next is the Calabanga Fish Port, located in Barangay Sabang, Calabanga, Camarines Sur. This was inaugurated by the previous administration in May of 2016, and it wasn't operational up until 2 months ago. This is a 50 million peso project. Together with the fish port in the same compound is the Calabanga Ice Plant and Cold Storage Facility for a total project cost of 96 million, because this one is 46 million. As you can see from the photos, the ice plant and cold storage are unused and still in new condition. So ika nga nila, lumang bago po itong facility. Here is the inauguration of the facilities in May of 2016. And here it is now, operating just 2 months after the Commission took cognizance of the problem. The ice plant and cold storage were turned over to the local government of Calabanga last July. the facilities are now operational, and fisher folks in the area are enjoying substantially cheaper ice for their catch. Less cost means more money in their pockets. Next is the Calabanga Infirmary, a project of the Department of Health, inaugurated in 2016 as well, with a total project cost of 20 million pesos, just for the structure alone. We all have heard the term white elephant, right? Well, this project is a white cow because the facility has seen more cows than patients. It sits in the middle of a farm 5 kilometers from the town proper of Calabanga. Jokingly said by a resident, kung pupunta ka dito para manganak, nag-kinder na anak mo, hindi ka pa nakakaabot. What's the status now? There is no building permit, no safety clearance, no utilities, water and power, no access road, no flooring, and we have observed substandard construction and materials used. Next is the Barangay Health Station, which is a national project by the Department of Health with a total project cost of 8.1 billion pesos, of which the government already spent 1.5 billion as mobilization fund. What you see here are photos of different barangay health stations. Yes, those pavements are the barangay health stations. These photos are all in Albay. And these ones are from Legazpi City. And unfortunately, it paints the same picture, only pavements. This last barangay health station is in Rawis, Legazpi, and is a bit special to the commission. If you will see, instead of putting waste, the BHS, the teachers use the pavement as a garden to at least beautify the school. What's sad is you're now looking at a 1.2 million peso school garden at the expense of the government. The status now, as of latest, the project has been stopped already by the DOH. The pavement on the photos was used as justification by contractors to build the government. Out of the 36 locations that we checked, 23 are at 31% completion, which is the pavement. That's 31%. And the rest are completely non-existent. The next project is a project that was in the news last year, the Mayon Circumferential Road. The construction that we check is the one in Bonga, Albay, a 50 million peso contract with SunWest Construction. This is part of the Mayon Circumferential Road. Now, a little background on this project. It is an estimated 7 billion peso project by the Department of Public Works and Highways, a 261 kilometers circumferential road. Maganda po sana ang plano, and if only it wasn't built inside the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone, which according to PILVOX is a no man's land, meaning there should be no human activity inside this zone whatsoever. What's worse is that the project started without the approval of PIVOX and the required permit from the DENR, such as the Environmental Compliance Certificate, or the ECC, and tree cutting permit. According to DENR last year, they will be filing criminal and other charges against DPWH executives for violations committed. That's it for the Bicol mission. The commission also just recently conducted a motu proprio Mindanao mission that ended 2 days ago. The team was led by Commissioner Manuelito Luna, who is the lead investigator for Mindanao concerns. The mission was between September 24 till October 2. Departments involved are the DENR, the DPWH, the National Food Authority, under the DA, the National Irrigation Administration, and the NCIP under the Office of the Cabinet Secretary, the Bureau of Treasury under the Department of Finance, DBM, and NEDA and the National Housing Authority under the Office of the President. Resource persons called during the fact-finding were undersecretaries, regional directors and managers, LGU officers, lawyers, consultants, and military personnel. Further updates will be given in the next few weeks regarding this mission. Now for the numbers which I know the media loves, how many report has the Commission received? The total number of documents and reports for the first 6 months is 411. Out of that, 59 complaints are complaints deemed verifiable, meaning complaints that are not anonymous and attached supporting documents. Unverified reports are reports that are either anonymous, do not include supporting documents, reports that are yet to be verified, and reports that are outside the Commission's jurisdiction. On the right is a ranking of the department or agency that received the most number of reports. At number 4 are the Department of Foreign Affairs, DOTR, DA, and the NCIP. At number 3 are the Department of Finance and the DENR. Number 2 are GOCC, or government-owned or controlled corporations. And at number 1 is the Department of Public Works and Highways. Now for updates on major cases that the Commission handled, including entrapment operations. As directed by the President, the Commission took cognizance of the dismissal of the cases of Peter Lim and Kerwin Espinosa by Pasay prosecutors. The prosecutors were given suspensions, and a second panel of prosecutors was created to reinvestigate the case, which eventually resolved to file the necessary criminal charges against Mr. Lim and Mr. Espinosa. It is now for the Commission's final resolution. Next is the case against former Undersecretary Dominador Sai of the Department of Labor and Employment. The President heard firsthand the 6.8 million extortion incident, which resulted to the forced resignation of Undersecretary Sai. PACC has resolved the case, and a criminal complaint was ordered against the Undersecretary. Next is a corruption case through a smuggling syndicate at NAIA. This is an entrapment operation headed by Commissioner Greco Bellica and the Commissioner's Executive Director, Attorney Eduardo Bringas. This is a modus in NAIA involving Bureau of Customs and other government officials wherein the sundo system is used to avoid paying taxes and detection of illicit goods. This resulted to the sacking of a DOJ Assistant Secretary and suspension of 3 Pasay prosecutors. Also, a criminal case will be referred by the Commission to the Office of the Ombudsman. In June of this year, in coordination with the Special Task Force of the NBI, the Commission conducted an entrapment operation versus 3 BIR officers who were extorting 600,000 pesos from a restaurant business owner. These 3 erring BIR personnel were preventively suspended and are facing criminal and administrative cases filed with the Office of the Ombudsman. Next is the corruption in the V. Luna Medical Center. This is a military hospital, something very close to the President. Kaya na lang ang galit ni Presidente when the Commission presented a whistleblower to the President and he saw the suffering endured by the victim, a Filipino soldier. In coordination with the DND and AFP, a cartel in the Health Services Command Office was discovered. As of today, 20 top brass officials in the Health Services Command Office have been ordered by the AFP Chief of Staff, including the Commander and the Management and Fiscal Office Chief, that will be subjected to a court-martial. Upon firing of the entire management and board of directors of Nayong Pilipino, by the President, the Commission took cognizance of the case and is now under investigation by the Commission. And lastly is the most recent one. It involves DPWH District Engineering Office in Pasig City, wherein the staff of a district engineer was caught on video accepting part of a 4.1 million extortion in favor of a 70 million peso steel parking project in San Juan. This case has been referred to the DPWH, and Secretary Villar vowed to investigate and file appropriate charges and suspension to those involved. And that concludes the report and update for the first 6 months of the